I would really challenge people to really look at the historical context supported by data of where they operate at. Look for as far back as you can and compare it to now. Do some longitudinal assessments of a landscape analysis of, if I work within the district and I'm working in the space in education, we'll keep it simple and just leave it within the education space. The communities that I serve, the school that I serve, who's been underserved? Can you tell? Can you literally tell? Does data show who's been disciplined more? Does data show who's been achieving more? Does data show who's been given opportunities for educational advancement as it relates to like honors, dual enrollment, AP? I think a lot of times when you have these conversations, anecdotally, people can say like, I don't see it. Like we're growing, like things are moving forward. Insert data in the conversation. Like a lot of times, some things in education, that's one thing I know about education. It's not real to people unless it's sitting in their face and there are data and there's numbers. That's the one time where I don't like people being reduced to numbers, because I think that it's almost like an inhumane element. Like when you reduce people to data, sometimes you take the humanity out of them. But in this instance, in order for us to really be clear about the disparity and how racism has played a huge role in serving and underserving folks, insert data. And allow that data to be disaggregated by race. Allow data to disaggregate everything you care about in education by race. Hiring of teachers, retention of teachers, academic success, absenteeism, graduation rates, ACT scores, SAT scores. Disaggregate the data by race and just see. Just look. I assure you, if you have longitudinal data over a period of time and a population of folks are always at the bottom, are always going to be less than, doesn't that not perpetuate the story of what this country was built on for 400 years of humiliation and limiting folks to be viewed as less than? Even if we are getting better, wouldn't that motivate you to be like, hey, we still got work to do? There are some people, I would argue, who are in a space where we've gotten so good it almost isn't worth the effort of addressing anymore, or the effort of working towards anymore. And I would argue that that's not the case. We made a few strides, but there's a lot of work to be done. You can't erase the dehumanization of a population of people that have experienced something over an arc of 400 plus years by the good work that you've done in a couple. It just doesn't work like that. And so I would always argue for folks to, like, you know, if I can't give you my story, and you feel something from it and be like, you know what, I'm feeling something there. Like, I believe that. Go do your research and look at the data. Have data support. Show me the data that supports your claim that we're moving this arc along. And I'm not talking about, you know, just for a little bit. I'm talking about for the collective. Where are we at when we're moving the needle collectively? Now, I do think that we do need those individual wins in local context. So we say, hey, we're doing good work in this community, but also we need to be sharing that information more largely. That way we can replicate it in ways where we can start moving collectively. Like having a one-off to have access in one space, everybody's not gonna have access to that space. So really, if you're a person of color and you don't have access to that school and that opportunity, you don't get that service. And so how do we, if you're having that success and you can say, hey, locally, I'm doing well here, okay, how do you scale that up? Can you show your feeder schools, like, this is what we're doing? Can you show other schools in proximity that, hey, this is what we're doing, so we can move the needle? So what I'm also saying too is like, if you even can say, yes, we are being successful, don't limit your success then just to the smaller population of the community that you serve. How can you expand that way it now touches more people? Because it's gonna take a collective effort in a mass reproductive way to really move the needle how we need to move it to really see some of these disparities and some of these gaps closing.